If you're struggling to stay awake and to have the brain power to do the things that you need to do, by the end of this video, you'll have 10 steps to help you get through the day and have more energy, think more clearly, and to kind of get your brain back to where you would like it to be. I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. I'm a registered dietitian, functional medicine physician, family physician, and nutritionist. And today I'm bringing you those 10 steps that I use with my patients to help fight brain fog and fatigue. So what is brain fog? It's usually just when you're not able to think as clearly as you used to be. You're not able to maybe get as much done brain power wise as you used to. And then fatigue, we all know what that is. So a lot of us are struggling with that. It's one of the main reasons that people come to see me. And there can be a variety of causes of brain fog and fatigue. Sometimes it could be a nutrient deficiency when you're just either not eating the right nutrients or absorbing them in your gut. It can be a hormone function problem, thyroid, cortisol, your sex hormones, any of those. It could be chronic stress. That's one of the main reasons I see for brain fog and fatigue is chronic stress. And that stress could be coming from work life, home life. If you have illnesses, it could be a physiologic stress. So we talk a lot about stress on this channel. And I post videos every Thursday about reclaiming your health. We talk about gut health, hormone health, gene health. We talk about healthy diets, prevention, and like we said today, fighting fatigue, fighting brain fog, lots of functional medicine-based topics. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell notification to be notified when I post videos every Thursday. So let's talk more about fighting brain fog and getting rid of that brain fog and fatigue for good. So what are these 10 steps? So let's dive into these 10 steps. Step 1 would be to reduce distraction. So distraction obviously is all around us these days. We have our phones, we have our tablets, we have our laptops, we have people talking to us from all angles, all kinds of news and updates entering our lives non-stop. So many of us are trying to do our work and manage our family life at the same time, or have a conversation with a coworker and try to do our work at the same time, or have something podcast, blog, or whatever, vlog in the background while we're trying to do our work. So minimizing that distraction is super important to keeping that brain power and that function. So focusing, we need to be able to maintain our focus. Attention is our currency. So we need to be able to focus on one thing at a time. So try to go back to the old days where we just focused on one thing at a time, and that will help to restore some of that brain power. Number 2 would be to move more. So a lot of us are, not all of us, some of us had jobs where we were active, and that's better for your brains actually. A lot of us are stuck at these desks and stuck at these computers. That's a phone in front of me, but computers, and we are not moving like we should. So having some kind of alarm that would remind you to walk around the office or outside, even better, 10 minutes out of every hour. Or like I use my Fitbit, and it really helps me as far as it reminds me to do 250 steps every hour. You'd think I'd want to be doing that, and I do want to be doing that. But when I'm in front of patients, when I'm doing my charts, when I'm researching, when I'm writing things, I'm obviously stuck behind the desk in a computer. So this reminds me to get up, and even if I don't have the time to get out and walk outside, I can at least do some stuff in the office. And do some movement exercises. I use some little weights like I've talked about in my other videos, and just get up and get those 250 steps done every hour. So if you move more throughout the day, it's going to help kind of revitalize our brain function. And then number 3 would be to stop or reduce alcohol. So a lot of us are drinking socially, and that is interrupting our sleep. That is causing some blood sugar spikes and drops, or cortisol spikes and drops, and it might be sapping our energy. So if you feel like you're maybe leaning more on alcohol than you should, then try reducing that to get better sleep, to get the brain functioning better. So keeping the alcohol maybe just on the weekends and when you're not doing your work, and keeping it to like 1 or 2 drinks a day is a good thing to keep in mind when you're struggling with some brain fog and fatigue. Another Step number four would be to eat in a balanced way. And one simple way to do that is to think of eating in a PFC way. Protein, fat, carbs, combining those. And I'm not talking about a cheeseburger. That does have all of those in there. But when I'm talking about your carbs, I want them to be like a fruit or vegetable, and not eating those carbs by themselves, eating them with a healthy source of fat, like avocado, coconut oil, olive oil, nut butters, which have both the protein and the fat in them. So if you want more information on eating PFC, I have a 2-page guide that you can see. I will flash it here, and then there'll be a link in the description below. So look for that. But you definitely don't want to eat your processed carbs by themselves, because the body like treats them like sugar and breaks them down really fast, and you'll have kind of that roller coaster of blood sugar spikes, and even maybe some cortisol that follows that. So spikes and dips, and you want to avoid those spikes and dips to keep your energy stable. So eating PFC, not eating carbs by themselves, protein, fat, and carbs together. And I do have that guide, so look in the description below if you want to learn more about what a PFC snack or meal looks like. Number 5 would be no caffeine. Sounds weird. You're fatigued. You have low energy. Of course, you're going to reach for that coffee, right? And coffee is just one of our greatest, most lovely addictions in this country, but not good for everybody. So if you're feeling fatigued throughout the day, if you're having crashes, if you're waking up fatigued, if you just can't think clearly, coffee's got a lot of caffeine in it. So maybe switching to a half calf, switching to green tea, which has some other benefits. The L-theanine in it can help brain function. So consider changing that up, or just reducing your coffee. I ask people about caffeine intake every day, and they often are drinking 24, 36, maybe more ounces of coffee a day. Getting it to like 8 or less would be good, and you can do that, like I said, through replacing with green tea, or doing like a half calf, or just changing altogether. Number 6 would be balanced exercise. So exercise is important to maintain our brain function and to maintain our energy levels. Some people are overdoing their exercise in a way that it's maybe kind of draining their cortisol levels. So we want to do balanced exercise. If you're feeling drained, you would then that day do like a walk outside. That will help. The sunshine and the slow pace of the walk will help to kind of regain that energy power, and that brain power, and not drain us too much. Or something like yoga, where there's the rhythmic kind of nature to it, and the deep breathing, and the almost meditative nature to it. That would be helpful on a day that you're feeling really fatigued. What might not be helpful is something that's really intense, maybe like the high intensity exercises or CrossFit or something like that. Now, if you find those do give you energy, then definitely incorporate more of those, but you need to play around with what works for you. But definitely incorporating exercise is essential for regaining your brain power, and it's essential for regaining your energy. So you have to have some kind of exercise, but you need to balance it. Make sure there's cardiovascular exercise, strength training. Make sure on certain days you might take it easier than others, but definitely get that exercise in there. Number 7 is something you hear me talk about a lot if you've ever seen any of my videos, and you hear other functional medicine doctors and health providers talk about, is meditate. So if we want to get that focus and that brain power back and that energy, we need to restore our cortisol levels, restore our blood sugar in our brain, get out of fight or flight. So we need something to get us into that rest and digest stage. We can do that with meditation. We can definitely improve our energy levels with meditation. So even if you can just do 5 minutes a day of meditation, that makes a huge difference. I know it sounds so simple, and it doesn't sound as glamorous or fancy as finding some new diet or supplement, but meditation is essential for regaining your brain power and restoring your energy levels. So there's a lot of different ways you can meditate. You could do a walking meditation, go outside, get your sunshine, and do a walking meditation. You could do a deep breathing session where you just sit quietly. You don't always just have to totally empty your mind. That's really hard for a lot of us to do. But getting in the habit of at least quieting the mind in some way and getting away from our dust, getting away from our stress. Meditation is key. I'm going to post here some meditation apps that you can take a look at. That's a great way to kind of get yourself into that habit. And then I'm going to have some resources in the description below, so take a look at that. But definitely incorporating 5 or 10 minutes of meditation a day is key for brain fog and fatigue. Also, building on top of that, for number 8 is to manage stress. I know that sounds like, well, yeah, I would have thought of that, duh. But we're not doing it, a lot of us. I see people every day, and most of them are very, very stressed. I am sometimes stressed. Obviously, we all are. So manage that stress. Really take that seriously. Say no when you can to things that maybe aren't essential. Spend more time with your family and friends. Those relationships are very important. Set boundaries. So if there's toxic relationships, get rid of them. And definitely get a hold of your work hours. Make sure that you're not overdoing that. You need some balance in your life. So managing stress will really help that brain power and fight that fatigue, especially when you build it on top of all these other steps. And number 9, get regular sleep. Well, have regular sleep hours and have regular eating hours. So try to eat around the same time every day. That keeps the blood sugar and the hormones stable. And then try to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day. That sets our circadian rhythms where they should be, and also resets our cortisol and our hormones, and to help keep those steady. And it helps us sleep. You know, a lot of us that are fatigued and have problems with our brain fog aren't getting enough sleep. So that leads me to number 10. Duh, get enough sleep, right? Thought of that one, I'm sure. But our goal is 7 to 9 hours of sleep, hopefully uninterrupted. So that is what I'm wrapping it up with, is getting enough sleep. So trying to get regular sleep hours and getting enough sleep. Now that's a whole nother topic where if you're having trouble sleeping, that's what my next video is going to be on. So stay tuned for that next week on learning how to fall asleep naturally and to stay asleep. So comment down below on ways that you might be trying to fight fatigue and to boost your energy levels and to banish brain fog. Or comment down below if you've been struggling with this and you think you're going to try one of the ideas that we talked about here. So I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. I have that 2-page PFC guide if you want to look in the description down below. I also have resources on functional medicine and brain fog and fatigue down below. And then I have links on if you want to find a functional medicine doctor, or if you want to work with our group. We can work in person in Colorado or virtually in other parts of the country. My team can work with you. And then I post videos every Thursday on reclaiming your health, and just trying to get back to the state of health and vitality that you want to be at, and living with optimum wellness and health. So stay tuned. I post every Thursday. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the bell notification to be notified of when I post my videos. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Thursday.